Well, it was written, all 8 episodes were written and then directed by Hugo Blick. And so he sent me all of the scripts, which is very different than I think the way most television projects, at least in America, happen. Usually you get one pilot, 1 hour, and you kind of have to sign up and say, I'll happily do this for many years based on this 1 hour-long script. And in this case, which I find scary, you know, in this case I read all of it, and the scripts were so unusually phenomenal that I thought, you know, damn it, I think I have to do this, and I probably shouldn't, because I have 2 little kids, and it would have meant taking my kids to London and Morocco for, you know, 4 or 5 months. And so I kind of did everything I could not to do it. And then it just became impossible not to do it. It's not always that way. But it was so exceptional. I mean, I'd never read anything like it before. It's this kind of mix when you read it, and I think when you see it too, although I've only seen 5 of the 8 episodes so far, but that's enough, I think, to know. You know, you read it, it's like this exquisitely put together thriller, so that the twists and turns and the whodunnit and the, you know, all that kind of stuff is really exquisite. I mean, in a way that I think it can't be when you're writing the script each week. You know, this is all formed by this kind of genius mind. So it's that, but that's not all that interesting to me ultimately. I know it's interesting to a lot of people. The thing that's interesting to me is that underneath that, there's this human beating heart through all of it. So it's this mix of thriller and like deep, deep humanity, which I'd never seen before. It's funny, when you ask me that, it reminds me of the thing about how people have often asked me, like, you're drawn to films that are where there's lots of sex? Because I kind of think, which this one has too, actually, I think everybody's interested in sex. And I think actually most people, whether or not, I think most people are concerned about what's happening in the world. And I know sometimes it can be so concerning and so upsetting that people block it out, but that's an indication of concern and interest too. So what's amazing about this one is it is political, and it's dealing in, I think, the most incendiary, the scariest, the most terrifying political situation that I can imagine right now. And it just takes it on. And, you know, that was exciting to me, scary to me, compelling to me. I had to learn a lot in order to do it, which is also, you know, exciting. It was never that I thought, okay, this is a minefield, and so I'm too scared to consider it. It was more that as I read it, and as we made it, I had to think so carefully all the way through to make sure that it wasn't saying something that I didn't believe in. And what I hope it is saying, and that if you know, what I hope it does do politically is, you know, obviously in this particular subject and particular part of the world, there are people on either side with like a vice grip on their point of view, and that isn't serving anybody. And I hope that this project, and maybe this is a naive hope, but I hope it anyway, and I'm playing someone who's got some naivete in them, but radicals are also, not radicals, people who really make change often do have a sense of like a naivete about them, and Nessa certainly does, but that the people with that vice grip on each side of this issue will maybe, even just for 10 seconds, loosen that grip, consider some tiny element of the other side. And even if it's not possible for them to do it intellectually, maybe this project will let their hearts do it despite their brains for, you know, even 10 seconds. And I would feel like something was accomplished.